Are you tired of the typical libraries with conventional music that makes you feel meh? Introducing Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Our team are lifelong musicians and producers in love with music. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality. Mark the difference with music of signature at Leerecs.com.
Amazing! This is really, really good! So we have Apache Rose, this is the name of the band, Apache Rose, and the song is On My Watch. And it's really, really awesome. And we have, thankfully, gratefully, we have the leader of this band, vocalist, guitarist, writer, Ilya. Hi Ilya, how's it going?
Yeah. Hello, thanks for having us.
Absolutely, this is really, really awesome. Why don't you take the floor and introduce yourself and your band, please?
Yeah, my name is Ilya Novohatsky. I'm the vocalist, the guitarist, and the songwriter for the band Apache Rose. We are a band from Moscow, Russia, and we play rock and roll, and we sing in English. So we have been active since 2020, and we have our first album out 1 year ago, almost. Yeah, it was like end of January was 1 year. Yeah.
Awesome, sounds good. Ilya, why do you choose to play American rock?
Well, actually, for me, the answer is really simple because I spent 4 years as a kid in the U.S. My father was a diplomat for the Russian Foreign Office, well, I don't know, Ministry of International Affairs. And we lived there in the U.S. for 4 years, and I was 7 till I was 11. And so me and my brother will listen to a lot of, rock radio. So that's my musical upbringing, actually. So ever since I've been listening only to, Western music, and I don't really listen to any Russian language music, which is like historically. So that's why we do it this way. And the other guys in the band and the musicians I work with, they too are big fans of, English-based rock and roll, so that's like natural for us.
Well, that's a very, very interesting story. Where did you stay in the United States?
Washington, D.C. and the suburbs.
Okay, beautiful. Well, there's used to be a lot of punk rock around the area.
Yeah, I've heard that, like in the early 80s, that Washington, D.C. was like sort of a capital of punk rock, yeah.
Awesome. All right, so what type of music is most common where you are now? Most popular?
Well, of course, the most popular in Russian music is, of course, like everywhere else, is any sort of pop. And in particular, hip-hop. So just like everywhere else, Russian hip-hop is really popular right now. Not so much for rock. Like in the 90s, there was, a whole explosion of, music. Following the collapse of the USSR, everything was more free, everything was bubbling, in of culture. Everything was new, and lots of new rock bands emerged. But ever since, it mostly went the way of mainly like in I guess in the U.S. So it's mainly pop, hip hop, and rock is more and more underground actually than it was before.
From your experience in the United States, is that where you decided to begin, being a musician or picking up an instrument? How did that happen?
I decided to pick up the guitar a little bit later than I returned from the U.S. So I was there from '89 to '93, and we came back to Russia, and I started dabbling with music a few years later in junior high school. And by that time, I was a big fan of everything Seattle-based grunge, like Nirvana, Soundgarden, everything like that. And so I listened to a lot of that. My big brother, brought home CDs and cassettes and everything like that, and started picking up the guitar, learning to play that stuff a little bit. First thing I think every guitarist learns is nothing else matters from Metallica. So I started picking up, starting to not only listening but trying to repeat that sort of stuff, and later even starting to write. So that's how it all went.
Beautiful. So it's been a number of years, but did I get it right that you just released your first album recently?
Yes, exactly. I wouldn't consider myself and the other guys as really young rock musicians. So I'll be 40 in April. So this is maybe a little bit unusual, but anyway, I've been writing songs for the past 10 years, and after that, it became evident that these songs need to be recorded and performed, and so I started going to the studio with some guys, recording the stuff and starting releasing it. So it's all been slow in the making, but now we're on the track.
Absolutely. One thing, you're right. These songs really deserve to be recorded and released. Judging by this song, On My Watch. Again, Apache Rose, On My Watch is the name of the song. On My Watch. This is really, really, really good. I'm not exaggerating. So, but...
Thank you.
It's... Age really is not a factor. It's not a factor. When I listen to your music, I really don't care what your age is, honestly. Songs are good, they're good forever. Doesn't matter, that is really not a factor, so it shouldn't be a worry whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. I still have, I hope I still have 20 to 30 years of active musicianship ahead of me.
Of course. Of course, at least. All right, so tell us a little bit about the recording process. Who helped you? Just a little bit of the details.
The recording process. It goes two ways. Well, historically, it goes two ways. At first, I started writing the songs, but I was not really, sure, of myself that I could, record everything. So I invited professional guys to help me with the recording, the guitar, the bass, the drums. And so I was left with the vocals. But after several years, I became more sure of myself and started recording everything, except the drums. So on the first album, about half of the songs are recorded by me and the guys, and the other was recorded, except the drums, only by me. So that was important for me, to prove to myself that, I can do it. That I can be, self-sustainable, that I can, as a musician, I'm able to record this.
You definitely were able to. And tell us about your voice. You know, to learn. Obviously, you speak the language perfectly. You know, but just to train your voice and really to find your voice, to find your style. How did you go about? For how long? How did you practice? What was the story, the road to get there?
This is a very, a big story for me. It's really personal because actually it's still ongoing. And well, I think that for any musician, their road is everlasting. So I wouldn't, I don't think that any musician could say like, I'm perfect right now and I can't be better. But for me, it really has been a long trip. So I've been learning to sing for almost 10 years now. I started, practicing, going to teachers, everything like that. And like 9 years ago. And I'm still learning and I'm still, I don't think I'm good enough. But I am getting better, at least to the point where I can record an album. Yeah, it's been like a long road. I've changed teachers lots of times. I was like really discouraged, and the only thing that helped me anytime I got like discouraged, like everything is not so good as I want it to be, is I tell myself that you think that you're hitting the wall with your head, but actually each time it's the next wall. So that's what keeps me going, when I'm not satisfied with myself.
That's good. I find that to be good. You're demanding of yourself. You want to get better. If you're hitting your head against the wall, it's only to acquire head beat resistance.
Yeah. And as long as you understand that that's the next wall, you just passed the last one. It's not the same wall. Each time is the next one. That
There's
really
always
helps you to get going.
Absolutely. Always going to be new challenges. But it's good that you're demanding of yourself. Only that way is the right way to, to surpass your objectives. You want to sound actually really, really professional. You want to be the best version of yourself. So it's good to be demanding of. Yeah, it's good to be demanding of yourself. That's good. Excellent. So, all right. So, how many songs are we gonna find, and what is the title of the album?
The title of the album is Attention. We have a song on the album that has the same name, Attention. So I thought, for a debut album, for a first album, that could be, it's a little bit, maybe a little too evident, but still, anyway, I think it's a good title for a first album of a band.
You know what? I think it's brilliant. I think it's so simple and so impactful, and it's kind of a joke in itself, but at the same time really serious. So attention. This is what this album is requiring. Just pay attention to this album. You're really gonna like it. I think it's brilliant. I think it's really I like the title a lot. All right, so what is imagine you're absolutely unable to ever fail. So describe your perfect future.
My perfect future, my dream. Well, that would be, playing the Wembley.
That's simple as well. I like it. You're very clear as to what you want. Beautiful. How are you planning to do it? What is your near future plans?
Well, it's not, written out in any, on any paper, but still, I guess the plan is simple. I plan to write more songs, to get better and better, to release music as long as it takes. And basically, the path to Wembley leads through Western audiences. So basically, our music is more suitable, for European and U.S. audiences than in Russia, because when you sing in English in Russia, and you're a Russian band, so you're sort of like a like a white crow. So so basically we plan to work for Western audiences and hope they embrace us. Actually, when we just were starting out in 2020 releasing our first stuff, we almost immediately had people from Europe inviting us to tour, actually. But that was, that was soon made impossible by the whole epidemic. But still, it shows us that there's interest. So we just plan, to write music, promote it in the West, and so see what happens. But hopefully something good will.
Sounds like a plan. Excellent.
Well, more or less.
More or less. Well, think of it, write it down, and make it happen.
Yeah. So basically, the path to success, I think, in anything is, just work it. Well, try to work it good. Try to work it, thinking ahead. But the main thing is to work it. If you have a good plan, but you don't have the work to put in, so there's no use. So the work is first. Comes first.
Actions speak louder than words. Absolutely.
Even if you don't have a plan, if you work, something will happen.
You're right. Very good. Ilya, again, this is his band, Apache Rose. We're listening to On My Watch. Really, really worth it. And to be mindful of your time, I want to be, grateful for sharing a little bit of your story with us. I appreciate it tremendously. But
thank you.
You were to give an advice to your younger self, what do you think that'd be?
I would say don't sweat it, because sometimes I think, well, if I worked harder or play guitar more or practice more, I could have been further ahead than today. And I think, well, anything good that happens is good, so don't sweat it. Just do what you can, how you can, and if you love it, then you'll get somewhere, definitely. So don't sweat it.
Beautiful. All right. Again, thank you so much. This is Ilya and his band Apache Rose. We're going to enjoy a little bit more of On My Watch.
Yeah, on my watch, people mine, bullets bombing, pigs to fight. Everyone will see me, barking on the road.
Are you tired of the typical libraries with conventional music that makes you feel meh? Introducing Leerecs.com, the music website made for and by minds like you. Our team are lifelong musicians and producers in love with music. Search the Leerecs music catalogs and find music with guaranteed originality. Mark the difference with music of signature at Leerecs.com.